Hey everyone, this is Daniel Quintero. One thing that I wanted to reflect on in the 20th anniversary of 9/11 is the common theme that I've heard throughout this weekend. I was blessed to be part of two events this weekend with my wife Corralis. Saturday morning on 9/11, we went to the memorial climb, and then later in the evening, we went to a small town ceremony color guard ceremony honoring the victims and the firefighters, EMT, and police officers who bravely gave of their lives for others. And a common theme that I've also been seeing online is the eeriness that people were born after 9/11. That 20 years, we have a whole generation of people who did not have that sense of understanding of the present moment at that time on that fateful day. And I really reflected on that because it's striking how we are in a sense saddened that people don't have the same experience. And it goes to that nature of that shared experience of where were you? 9/11 was of course the most important day in our early collective memories as we know exactly what we were doing. We know a lot of the features of that day, the specifics of that day that we wouldn't know the day before or the day after. Um, and I think that shared experience that our earlier or our older generations talked about, the JFK assassination, Pearl Harbor, united us all as sharing in that one collective understanding of this was a very important day and we are here. So to know that there's people out there, young people who don't have that same understanding of where I was at that important day, whether they were so young that they don't remember or that they were not born yet. It definitely feels a bit eerie. Like we are standing in this time frame of being united, almost like a collective period of pause that we remember in our lives, that we can intimately connect that with others who have that same period of pause in their lives. But for those that do not, it's like we're missing something very sacred, very intimate with those individuals. And also a sense of unity being lost. When we reflect on the feelings of 9/11, now obviously there's a lore of the unity because we know that there was a lot of animosity, hatred towards people of a different color, skin color, race, religion. But we reflect more intimately on the nature of the courage, of the love, of the unity that was prevailing in our hearts, in our collective societal understanding of how to respond to the events. And knowing that despite everything that's happened with the wars and all the other calamities of the world, that fostering hopeful rear view look of that time in America when we were united is truly a collective experience that I think we are missing, and that it makes it very sad when we know people who are not of the age to be aware of that sense of unity. Not that we're sad that people were born after 9/11, of course not, but that we're not able to share something with them. And so that's why it's important to never forget, because ultimately we will get old, and the list of people that we will have that shared experience with will inevitably become smaller until the last survivors, the last witnesses of the day will pass away, just like Titanic, Pearl Harbor, the wars. But we share the people's stories, the survivors, the final phone calls of those that perished, the stories of courage, the last minute stories of survival. We share all these things to pinpoint not only the reality of what happened in a chronological order, but the feelings, the emotion, the raw nature of that day, the evils of terrorism, the allure of courage and hope that helps us make sense of the world, the promise of faith and a higher understanding of a greater purpose in our lives. That is why 9/11 is so important for me, and I hope to never forget it. Thank you. God bless.